Well, good evening, everyone. This is Keith with Positively Osceola for another edition of our evening coffee club discussion. And like I said, always, this is not a prop. This is the real deal because it is necessary and it is wonderful. So, speaking of wonderful, we have two of my closest friends tonight who I implicitly trust in all things, and that is James and Linda Pridgeon. How you guys doing?
Good.
Doing good.
Hi.
It's great to see you. And, Linda, you look a little different there today, I must say.
Just a tad.
A little shorter is what I meant. So I think that looks more like an Andy than a Linda. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Well, you're a handsome young fella, so glad to join. You might be a little young for coffee, though. Andy, is that true? You're not drinking coffee yet?
No.
Good choice, young man. We need you taller than you are right now, although you are tall for your age.
Mhm.
So, we're super cool. We had a great time when we did the initial pool school with Pinch a Penny Pool Patio Spa of St. Cloud not too long ago. And now, of course, we're in a different season per se, and that would be hurricane season. And certainly, although it's been dry this week, that is not typically the way it runs through Osceola County in Central Florida and Florida. So we certainly were totally honored to have you guys come today and to talk about what it is to be a pool owner or somebody in charge of a pool, I guess, during a hurricane season, during a severe storm season, during a tropical storm season, what to do prior, how do you prepare yourself for that when things get crazy and there are some alerts and potential oncoming storms, then we all kind of react quickly. So thought, it would be great to come together with you guys and say, okay, look, here we are once again in the middle of summer or the beginning of summer. And if you have a pool in your life, what are the real things you do to prepare before a storm, during a storm, and after a storm? And I hear so many things that are myths, actually. So we wanted to come right to the source, and that's obviously you guys. So James, why don't you go ahead and start it off? I'll be quiet and just go ahead and tell people how it, what you're thinking and what the facts are when it comes to pool care in the hurricane season.
Well, what we'd like to see is, to over-chlorinate your pool definitely before the storm gets there, and get some chlorine in the water because you don't know if the electricity is going to be off, and when the winds start picking up, and they usually do when that stuff comes through. Need to remove everything from the deck, basically pool poles, brushes, nets. That becomes flying objects and starts, impelling. Goes through the screen room, comes through a window if you haven't boarded up. So we need to get all that loose stuff off furniture, store it in the garage. Please, please, please do not throw that sort of thing in the pool. No furniture, no poles, nothing like that. Furniture, most of the furniture that's made, let's say it's expensive furniture, is made out of steel. It has steel hardware on it. So when you throw it in the bottom of the pool, it sits there, and of course you've overchlorinated, then it starts rusting. And you get big rust spots. I don't mind. If you don't mind, I'll sell you products to get rid of that. But I would rather you not put that in there because, like one customer during the storm had his a charcoal grill go into the pool. And we had to go over there and rope it in, jump in, and pull it out because he could not do it. And of course, it was a big mess, big cleanup afterwards. But that's the best thing to do. Don't do like me during the last hurricane. I forgot about my grill, and it was outside. It's a big green egg, and it started going over. I heard it moving, and I had to run out and tie it down because it was going through the screen room. But yes, please, before that storm gets here, you have plenty of time. It's not like a tornado. We have plenty of time to, get prepared. Especially, everything that's outside, any loose objects, move it inside. Take it in the garage, give it to your in-laws. Let them deal with it. It don't matter who it is. Just give it to somebody so you don't have to deal with it during the storm.
So that's before the storm. So what do you see as the most often occurring problem that happens that people do during the storm?
Draining their pool. We had several people call us during the last hurricane back in 17, and they drained their pool. One lady called and said she drained her pool completely empty, And what that does is there's a lot of groundwater. The groundwater gets high, and it makes your pool will actually float out of the ground, pop up, and that's like a $40,000 mistake. So do not drain water off your pool. You can drain it down to the skimmer and stop. We don't want to drain it too far because we're going to get a lot of rain. But if you have to drain it a couple of times, it's okay. Drain it down if it gets overflowing. That's a lot better than trying to drain it way down and to have it pop out of the ground. And if you don't have that type of insurance, they're going to ask you, why did you take the water out because of the hurricane? And you're going to be, you'll either have to cover the pool up after that or dig and get a new one in because it just will not, you can't put them back in the ground once they float.
And I guess if somebody doesn't believe you, if you've ever watched a pool being built before in your backyard, you notice that while they're building it, there is a pump going all the time.
Right.
That would be for the reason, right?
Yep. Yeah, they keep a deadline pump on there all the time, keep it floating. I said, you can keep your pump running, during the storm, but, please don't drain water out unless, you can drain a little bit. Like I said, 6, 8 inches, that's all you want to do. Above ground pools, keep them as full as you can pull them. It don't matter if they run over.
Right.
Let them stay full as they can because we want that heavy weight to hold them pools because we get a lot of rain, a lot of wind, and I've seen it push above ground pools over,
Sure.
even with water.
Right. I can see it happening. I mean, I guess what we do typically is when we know it's gonna be a strong storm, I look and see where we're at. We have a pretty decent grade before the back of our house, but I still I bring it down. That way I feel a little bit comfortable. I watch it. I run the pump almost, when it gets very close, I'll be running it a lot more than I usually do, trying to get it to be ready for when power does maybe go off. But I'm not remotely tempted to drain that thing down. I don't want to look out in the morning and see it 10 inches above where it normally is. So
Yeah.
I believe in you, James.
Yeah.
I want to be respectful over here. I think to what looks to be your left or right, depending on who you're looking at. Linda has a young man with her this evening, and so why don't we introduce that young guy right there?
Oh,
This right here is a special weatherman that we have brought all the way in from Virginia to enjoy this week and to help share the weather that we're having here in St. Cloud. And he's actually here to share with you the weather that you can expect for tomorrow.
Well, bring it.
Okay, so tomorrow is gonna have 88 is the high temperature and 67 is the lowest temperature. So all the way at the east coast of Florida or west has a storm that formed about an hour ago and it is heading this way, but there is going to be 0% participation tomorrow and only light rain.
Cool. So what is so Andy, what do you think what's next weekend look like? Do you have any forecast for next weekend? Because that's so important. What are you thinking?
Next weekend is supposed to be rain showers on Tuesday and on Monday is supposed to be light rain.
Cool.
And on Sunday is supposed to be light rain.
All right. Well, we'll bring an umbrella because you said so.
Yeah.
What I want to do,
umbrella if it's raining.
well, I want to make sure we go back between and look at what positively Osceola's weather forecasted and is and adjusted according to what you said.
Sounds good.
So let me ask you. I'm going to put you on the spot, Andy. So do you predict that this is going to be a very active tropical storm season, or do you think it'll be a kind of a more mellow one? Not that many hurricanes. Which way are you going with this?
I think it will be more a tropical storm season because all the extra tropical storms are all going north.
Gotcha. So to me, James, that means we need to be getting over to Pinch A Penny Pool Patio Spa of St. Cloud and get some chlorine ahead of time. Is that
Yes. Immediately. Well, with this last storm we had, the one that went to Mississippi, New Orleans, I think we got 12 inches of rain out of that one. So we got more of the weather than I think the other guys did up north of us.
right?
But one other item I was going to share is that we have a lot of flooding. I noticed in some of the areas, and if you're prone to flood, like when the last hurricane I had my backyard was a lake. So what I do is I usually run my pool as long as I can, and then I shut my pump off, turn the breakers off, and I wrap my pump up to keep the water out. And also, Linda's going to share with you what you need to do once you turn that pump off, and what we need to do to get that make sure secure that electricity.
Great.
Okay, everybody should have a timer. Just shutting it off is really not all we need to do. We need to get that main line that goes in. So don't just flip your timer off and think that's all fine and dandy. Go on in, find your main breaker, and flip it off also, because it still has that electrical running through it as long as that breaker's on. So you want to be sure, don't just flip your timer. Take it off at the main breaker as well.
Awesome. Well said. I think that's something that's very, so far, like I said, we had a lot of weather coming in at the beginning of the season, dry right now, but you would typically think that's going to end. So why don't you share with us, you've already shared what you do before the storm, kind of during the storm. Now, what happens after a storm passes? We look out the window and we witness, maybe some branches down and such. Hopefully nothing more than that. But what do we do to get ourselves back into a secure place and a proper maintenance place for our pools?
If that's being addressed to me, I wanted to add one more thing to what James had said beforehand. We pack everything up, we put it in the garage out of the way. Even the limbs on your trees, if they need to be trimmed, go ahead and get them done now. Don't wait till the last minute to be out there trying to trim those trees. If it's a loose branch, if it's anything like a pool pole that's going to propel through the air at a high speed of wind and go through you, you don't want to leave this stuff out. You want to get it taken care of, especially the tree limbs and what have you. Another thing, when the weather's all gone. Hi, Kelly. We love you too up in Virginia. When you go in your pool to start cleaning stuff out, please be sure and put on a pair of shoes. You don't know what's in there sometime, and just the little thing there can make a big difference on what's going to happen. Okay, take it away, Keith.
I'm just kind of catching up with some of the comments. I was so engaged in what you guys were saying, I didn't display them in the feed. And I know Andy's not on the screen right now, but Carolyn Cienciata happened to comment on the man.
Hey, Andy, Carolyn Cienciata says, "Oh my God, he's so adorable."
You might have to get him back in the screen here.
Absolutely, I will.
All right, then there's another question there. So let me ask you that. So let me pop back in here. So I have a chlorine-based pool. So I just come by and get a whole bunch of chlorine, and I kind of maintain things from that end. What do you say to somebody who has a salt-based pool when it comes to a storm?
What we do is we just add liquid chlorine. If anybody was around during Charlie, we sold a lot of liquids when your power was out. A lot of people were using their pools to, where they had no power, they would put chlorine in, brush it around, get it stirred into the pool. Then they would take a bucket of water and pour it over their head because it's hot. There's no electricity. They're trying to repair items around the house, cut trees, patch their roof at this time. And then they would soap down and take another bucket of water and pour it on them again. So that's basically your outdoor shower while you're doing it, and then they would swim in the pool. But that happened a lot. We sold liquid chlorine, even though you're salt. It don't matter if you're salt, you're chlorine, either one. We need that liquid. That liquid mixes fast. And if like we were talking, if we lose power during that time and you're over and the pool there's not much you can do except just let the pool overflow. Uh, if you have a generator, you can buy a submersible pump maybe and plug it into that generator and let it drain it down. But if you don't have problems with it flooding, just let it overflow. It'll go into the drain. It'll go outside. But it's better if you can keep that water down, because sometimes you'll see the wind surge. Will surge it up into the house sometimes. But it's great to have something to get that water out of there. But it's just about impossible when we lose our electricity.
Sure.
Earl said we just won a $20 gift card.
Bam.
Right.
Come by the store.
See, it pays to shop at Pinch a Penny Pool Patio Spa. So I happen to know this. I mean, I don't want to go through this whole thing and not tell people about some of the other services that you excellently provide to the community. So let's say that, maybe this is the catalyst. A storm comes through and you said, that's it. Can't handle it anymore. I love those guys at Pinch a Penny Pool Patio Spa in St. Cloud. I'm going to hand over the service and the maintenance to them. Why don't you tell us, can't handle the fact that the pool's kind of out of whack chemically.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you tell us about the service end that you provide to the community too?
Well, what we do is we have about 8 routes right now. We have over 600 pools that we clean a week. So these guys will be our priority. As soon as the storm is over and it's safe to get out there, our trucks will be back on the road, and we will take care of them first as much as we can. Of course, we're not going to let everybody sit by the wayside, because a lot of times we'll have screens down, trees in the pools. Please, please, please do not turn the pump on and let it start running with tree branches and furniture and stuff in the pool, because last time when we had a bad storm like this, we had to keep going out and unplugging lines because people would throw their pool cleaner back in and let it try to do the job. What that does is just sucks it up into the pipes. The pipes get stopped up. You got tons of oak leaves, tons of pine needles, anything in there, it's going to get sucked up. Don't even turn it on. If you're not sure, call us. We'll schedule. We'll get out there. I've got extra people on board now when this happens, and we can run out there in between our pool cleaning service and try to take care of this and get this stuff taken care of. Because the last time this happened, I built a gun. We use compressors to blow lines out. It was unimaginable what was in there. Bathing suits, rubber balls. Just everything that was in and it stops up your pool, and then your pool turns green before we can get to it. So
That's
don't
right.
put the cleaner back. Please don't turn the pool on and expect that cleaner to pick up everything in the bottom, especially big items, and we'll get out there right away. And even if you got a screen, if your cages fell in, we'll call us, we'll schedule, we'll come out there, we'll get that screen room out of the way so we can get that pool up and running again.
So, I'm not a big fan of the word transparency, because usually when people say transparency, they're not transparent. But I'll put this out in an honest, humbling moment. So my challenge last time when there were a lot of storms was I thought, there aren't that many leaves. It did blast out maybe 4 or 5 of my screen panels. And so I said, nah, it doesn't look that bad. So instead of jumping in the pool maybe and kind of getting as much out as I could, yes, I did. I turned that pool back on. And the next thing I did was call you, and you guys did come out, and you did have to clean out my line. So don't be stubborn. Do what the guy is saying right now, because honestly, that's the deal. You end up clogging the line. I was worried about it, but it was 15, 20 minutes. You guys had it done, and I appreciated that. But that's the real deal, It is what it is. I mean, I hate to say it like this, but the reality is we have pools in a state, in a county in Central Florida that, it's wonderful if you have a pool. But there's a responsibility to handle it, handle it responsibly. And we sometimes it gets beyond what we know. It's not beyond what you know. It's what you do every day, both you guys. So anything else you want to share about this? I know we've covered a lot, but I'm thinking there are probably a few other things maybe we should. I guess the one thing that I don't want to leave before we talk about, we realize COVID-19 has made it, has worried some of us before we go into retail stores. And I know that for a fact that you've remedied that for people if they have a challenge with testing their water, because I know you do that for free. How do they do that and not subject themselves to a potential exposure to COVID-19?
Well, what we've done, of course, we got the plexiglass barriers hanging from the ceiling, and we let everybody come in, and we give you the beaker, or we hand the beaker out, and you just pour your water in there, or we'll come out to your car. You call us when you get here. We'll be glad to come out of the car and get all your, get your water test, fill your containers, and bring it back out to you with no problem. Just once you drive up, park, give us a call. I have people that will come in and out and take care of that all the time. And anytime, and we're some of the stuff is starting to relax, it seems like, and we haven't been wearing a lot of mask in here, but there's just about chlorine just about kills everything. But if you feel that, you wear your mask, ask us, we'll put our mask back on if there's a problem. We don't mind, especially our older, our senior citizens like myself. If you have that issue, call us. Just call us. You don't have to come in. But I want come down and get your water tested, so everybody, so the grandkids can swim, the kids can swim. If you're looking for something, give us a call. I'll tell you if I can get it. Some of the stuff we have that we usually get in the store has been hard to get in, especially our toys and some of our equipment. But we can definitely try to get that stuff, especially our above ground pools. We've been selling a lot of above grounds because people are at home, and we have 4 models in stock. And if you're looking for an above ground pool, call me. I'll see what's in stock, and we can give you some options to go by.
Awesome. I know this past weekend at my house, my son is graduating from Harmony High School. He has graduated pretty much. And so that kind of, with COVID-19, kind of interrupted the end of the year. So we had a slew of seniors from the marching band come out from Harmony this past weekend, and the pool was crystal clear, and that is because we utilize your services and your and everything you bring to us, and so we always appreciate you. I would also say that although I don't really love my pool filled with inflatable toys, I can assure you that you can just about walk across my pool, because from one end to the other, my son had purchased bunches of toys from you guys. So I appreciate all you guys do. Anything else you want to share tonight?
I have a couple more winners. I have Emily Raffin, $20 gift card will be here waiting on you.
Very cool.
Diane Padro, another $20 gift card. And also Dale Graham, $20 gift card. Will be here waiting on you. There was something else I was going to say. Oh, I know what it was, Keith. When you said that you could walk across your water in your pool, you know what I'm going to say?
No, I do not.
You are not Jesus.
That
Do
is
not attempt it, okay? Just don't attempt it. You will sink.
Yes. And certainly he was the only perfect human on the perfectly human, honest human, and
That's right.
I'm glad you were.
Cheers for the coffee.
And one more comment. I see Diane. Diane had a comment about just turning the timer off.
Yeah.
If you're going to turn your timer off, make sure you find your circuit breaker that controls your pool equipment and turn that circuit breaker off. It's usually close by. It's right there beside it. If you cannot find that circuit breaker, there's little pins on your timer. Pull the little pins, take the screws loose, and take the pins out. Then the pump will not come on after that. But you do not want, if you just turn your timer off right then, tomorrow morning the timer's going to come right back on and the pool's going to start running. So, and one other thing too, I forgot to mention child fencing.
Yeah.
Please take your child fencing up. We don't want it to be an obstruction or something to get in the way, but do not forget, once you start getting outside and start clearing that debris out, put that child fencing back up immediately for me, please.
Yes. Well said. I got to say, I kept saying, give me one more thing you might want to be saying. if I'm correct, James, behind you are automatic pool cleaners. And
Yes.
I don't know what having a pool is without one. And you are the only place that I buy my automatic pool cleaners. So share a little bit, if you would, before we close out, and anything else as far as any upcoming sales, anything you got coming out you want people to know about.
Well, we've had some sales that's been pretty close together because of the COVID issue, and we do have another one coming up. It's starting here shortly, in about a week. It's going to be the 25th or the 24th. I'd have to get my dates, but all the pool cleaners will be some of the pool cleaners will have $250 off. Most of these suction cleaners will be half price. They're normally about $400. They're going to be about $249, and it's usually rebates. Now in the store, you'll get a rebate for the store. I'll give you a gift card. There's rebates from the manufacturer. So normally you pay full price, and then you get a rebate in the mail from the manufacturer, and then I'll give you a gift card to spend in the store. And also, our equipment's on sale. All of our tablets will be 10% off. There's 4 days. We got toys. If you don't there's 8-page or it's a 12-page ad, come see me. I've got some extras, and there's a lot of toys that's going to be on sale finally. There's some different toys that's going to be on sale when this sale starts. But just about our maintenance equipment will be on sale. We have also pumps, filters, these variable speeds, which is so important for our electricity. When it's hot this time of year, when our electric bill goes from $200 a month to $600, this variable speed pump will save you about $600 to $800 a year on your electric bill.
Well, Andy. Well, Andy, we appreciate your weather forecast tonight. You certainly rounded out tonight's pool school hurricane season edition. I would tell you that one of the things that really was has been worrisome for so many people, and I think it was very much apparent during the whole COVID-19, which we're still experiencing, which is that some of the core importance, what makes a community strong, and I'm not just saying that just to say it. What makes a community strong is having business members and businesses such as yourselves. This is what it is to be a community. I know that you guys do everything you can possibly do to serve the community, to bring awesome service, educated service every day. I know that because you're our friends, and so I'm super honored that you guys would be a part of tonight, very much, and I appreciate all you do. I'm glad.
Thanks for having us tonight. We appreciate being here.
Love it. Love you guys. And so if there's not anything else, we're going to call it. Anything else?
We're ready for the hurricane. Hopefully we won't see them.
Yeah. Hopefully they just kind of skirt around us. All
Hopefully
right?
it's tropical storm season.
Yeah, that's right.
That would be my.
Yeah, and also there's 2 10% chances out there.
Gotcha. Well, there you have it, folks. The expert himself, Mr. Andy.
Andy.
I'm glad you could join us tonight, Andy.
Thank you.
All right. You are more than welcome. This is Keith with Positively Osceola, along with James and Linda Pridgeon and Andy from Pinch a Penny Pool Patio Spa. Give those guys a ring. Go visit them. They are the best. Together, we're making a positive difference in Osceola County. Have a good night, everybody.
Thank you.